Lily sat quietly at her desk, trying not to draw attention. The other students in her class whispered and laughed in a language she barely understood. Their eyes followed her every move, not with kindness, but with curiosity and dislike. She was the only human girl in the school, and she felt it every single day. Her parents were diplomats, assigned to build peace and trade with the Drawry, a tall and pale-skinned alien species that ruled this part of space. They brought her here hoping she would learn and make friends. But things didn't go as planned. At first, the Drawry students just stared at her. Then they began calling her names, poking her with long, cold fingers, and throwing things at her when the teacher wasn't looking. Lily tried to ignore it. She believed if she stayed strong, they would stop, but they didn't stop. One day, during lunch, a boy named Servek pushed her tray onto the floor and made her pick it up in front of everyone. She stayed calm, kneeling down, her face burning with shame. Later that week, a group of students locked her in a storage room after class. She waited for hours until a janitor found her. Her parents tried to speak to the school, but the teachers only gave weak smiles and said, "It's just curiosity. She's different. They'll adjust." Lily knew better. It wasn't curiosity. It was cruelty. Weeks passed, and things got worse. The students didn't want her to learn. They erased her work, broke her tools, and once filled her backpack with slimy creatures from the biology lab. Lily cried at night, but never in front of them. She didn't want them to win. One day, the worst thing happened. It was a group assignment in the gym. The teacher paired Lily with 4 Drawry students. They were strong and fast. She was smaller and still learning their games. They surrounded her in a drill, pretending it was part of the lesson. Then one of them shoved her hard. She fell backwards, hit her head, and didn't get up. Everything went black. She woke up in a hospital bed. Her head ached, and her arm was in a cast. Her parents were there, eyes red from crying. The doctor said she had a concussion and a fractured wrist. Lily said nothing. She didn't want to talk. What was the point? But this time, something was different. A nurse had placed a small camera in the gym weeks ago, trying to catch students cheating. That camera caught everything. It showed how the students had tricked Lily, how they laughed as she fell. The video was clear. Too clear. One of the Earth diplomats sent the footage back to Earth. He didn't follow the rules. He didn't ask for permission. He just did it. Because someone needed to see and someone did. Thousands of miles away, under a mountain. On Earth, in a room with no windows and glowing screens, a man watched the video in silence. He wore a black uniform with no badge. Behind him stood others, quiet and tense. They had seen many things in their lives, wars, disasters, betrayals. But this made them angry. Activate Protocol Indigo. The man said it was a name only a few knew, a plan hidden deep in Earth's files. It was created long ago, just in case humans were treated unfairly on other worlds. It had never been used. Until now. Back on the alien planet, Lily rested in her hospital bed, unaware that change was coming. She didn't know that 4 special people had been chosen. She didn't know they were already preparing to come. All she knew was pain, silence, and the cold feeling that no one would ever help her. But help was on the way. And this time, it wouldn't come in words or rules. It would come in strength, skill, and the quiet promise that Earth never forgets its children, even those light years away. Far from the alien planet, deep inside Earth, 4 people stood in front of a large screen. On the screen was a still image of Lily lying in the hospital bed. The room was silent. Cole, tall and calm, crossed his arms. Vanessa, sharp-eyed and steady, studied every detail. Dean tapped his fingers, full of quiet energy. Riley, the youngest, held her breath, fists clenched. They had trained for years. They were the best of Earth's secret soldiers. A voice spoke from the shadows. "This is your mission. You will travel to the Drawry world as teachers and security advisors. But your real job is to protect our people and respond to harm. No open attacks. No mistakes. The world is watching. Cole nodded. Understood. Each of them had been chosen for their strength, mind, and heart. They had studied alien cultures, learned a dozen languages, and trained their bodies to the limit. They didn't carry weapons. They were the weapons. 2 days later, they stepped out of a sleek ship on the Dravari world. They wore clean clothes, friendly smiles, and badges that said they were part of Earth's Education and Safety Division. The Dravari welcomed them politely, hiding their suspicion. Earth had sent advisors before, but never four at once. The team quickly went to work. Cole met with school leaders. Vanessa reviewed campus safety. Dean helped in classes, always watching. Riley spoke with students, asking questions that sounded simple, but meant more. They saw Lily on the second day. She was back in school, walking. Slowly, her arms still healing. Her eyes were tired. She didn't smile. The team didn't approach her yet. They didn't want to scare her or make her a bigger target, but they watched. Always Vanessa placed tiny cameras in the hallways. Dean followed the bullies home. Riley learned which teachers looked away when trouble started. Cole hacked into the school's old data system and read every file. After a week, they had a list. Names, locations, times. Who hurt Lily? Who helped? Who stayed silent? They shared the list and made a plan. The first to go was Cervic, the student who had pushed Lily in the gym. One night, he left school late. He never made it home. The next morning, he was found far outside the city, unharmed but shaken. He told stories of a figure in black who appeared out of nowhere, whispered warnings, and vanished into the dark. The school tried to ignore it, but fear had begun. The next week, a teacher who had laughed at Lily's pain was caught with secret files, showing he had changed student records. He was removed from his post. Another bully lost his family's high status after hidden messages were sent to the Dravari Council. The bullies were still walking, but their world was falling apart. Lily noticed the changes. The whispers stopped. The laughter ended. The students began to look at her with fear, not hate. She didn't know why. She just felt it. One afternoon, she found a note in her locker. It said, "You are not alone. Stay strong." She looked around, but saw no one. Still, for the first time in weeks, she smiled. Meanwhile, the team met in secret, hidden in a small safe house outside the city. They reviewed their progress and prepared for the next step. They would not stop until the message was clear. Earth protects its own, but the Dravari Council had started asking questions. Strange events, missing people, and sudden changes worried them. They began searching for answers. And they found Riley. She had gone out alone to follow a suspect, but it was a trap. The Dravari guards caught her and brought her to a quiet prison under the city. She said nothing, even as they questioned her. They didn't know who she was. Not yet. When Riley didn't return, the team knew something was wrong. Dean tracked her last signal. Vanessa prepared escape gear. Cole made the decision. We get her out, no matter what. They moved at night, silent, fast, and invisible. They broke through the prison security with ease. The guards never saw them coming. They found Riley in a dark room, weak but alive. "Took you long enough," she whispered, smiling. They escaped without a single shot fired. But they left something behind, a small device broadcasting a message. When the Dravari turned it on, they saw Lily's video. Then a voice spoke. "This is what happens when you harm the innocent. Earth remembers. Earth responds." The message played across public screens. The whole planet saw it. No more hiding. No more silence. And the real change was just beginning. Far from the alien planet, deep inside Earth, 4 people stood in front of a large screen. On the screen was a still image of Lily lying in the hospital bed. The room was silent. Cole, tall and calm, crossed his arms. Vanessa, sharp-eyed and steady, studied every detail. Dean tapped his fingers, full of quiet energy. Riley, the youngest, held her breath, fists clenched. They had trained for years. They were the best of Earth's secret soldiers. A voice spoke from the shadows. This is your mission. You will travel to the Drovari world as teachers and security advisors. But your real job is to protect our people and respond to harm. No open attacks. No mistakes. The world is watching. Cole nodded. Understood. Each of them had been chosen for their strength, mind, and heart. They had studied alien cultures, learned a dozen languages, and trained their bodies to the limit. They didn't carry weapons. They were the weapons. 2 days later, they stepped out of a sleek ship on the Drovari world. They wore clean clothes, friendly smiles, and badges that said they were part of Earth's Education and Safety Division. The Drovari welcomed them politely, hiding their suspicion. Earth had sent advisors before, but never for at once. The team quickly went to work. Cole met with school leaders. Vanessa reviewed campus safety. Dean helped in classes, always watching. Riley spoke with students, asking questions that sounded simple but meant more. They saw Lily on the second day. She was back in school, walking. Slowly, her arms still healing. Her eyes were tired. She didn't smile. The team didn't approach her yet. They didn't want to scare her or make her a bigger target, but they watched. Always Vanessa placed tiny cameras in the hallways. Dean followed the bullies home. Riley learned which teachers looked away when trouble started. Cole hacked into the school's old data system and read every file. After a week, they had a list. Names, locations, times. Who hurt Lily? Who helped? Who stayed silent? They shared the list and made a plan. The first to go was Cervic, the student who had pushed Lily in the gym. One night, he left school late. He never made it home. The next morning, he was found far outside the city, unharmed but shaken. He told stories of a figure in black who appeared out of nowhere, whispered warnings, and vanished into the dark. The school tried to ignore it, but fear had begun. The next week, a teacher who had laughed at Lily's pain was caught with secret files, showing he had changed student records. He was removed from his post. Another bully lost his family's high status after hidden messages were sent to the Drovari Council. The bullies were still walking, but their world was falling apart. Lily noticed the changes. The whispers stopped. The laughter ended. The students began to look at her with fear, not hate. She didn't know why. She just felt it. One afternoon, she found a note in her locker. It said, "You are not alone. Stay strong." She looked around, but saw no one. Still, for the first time in weeks, she smiled. Meanwhile, the team met in secret, hidden in a small safe house outside the city. They reviewed their progress and prepared for the next step. They would not stop until the message was clear. Earth protects its own, but the Drovari Council had started asking questions. Strange events, missing people, and sudden changes worried them. They began searching for answers. And they found Riley. She had gone out alone to follow a suspect, but it was a trap. The Drovari guards caught her and brought her to a quiet prison under the city. She said nothing, even as they questioned her. They didn't know who she was. Not yet. When Riley didn't return, the team knew something was wrong. Dean tracked her last signal. Vanessa prepared escape gear. Cole made the decision. We get her out, no matter what. They moved at night, silent, fast, and invisible. They broke through the prison security with ease. The guards never saw them coming. They found Riley in a dark room, weak but alive. "Took you long enough," she whispered, smiling. They escaped without a single shot fired. But they left something behind, a small device broadcasting a message. When the Drovari turned it on, they saw Lily's video. Then a voice spoke. "This is what happens when you harm the innocent." Earth remembers. Earth responds. The message played across public screens. The whole planet saw it. No more hiding. No more silence. And the real change was just beginning. The air felt lighter in the school halls. Students no longer whispered when Lily walked by. Some even greeted her quietly. Teachers began calling on her more in class. The bruises on her heart were still there, but they were starting to heal. Changes in the school were not just from fear. Something deeper was growing, respect, and with it, a new sense of balance. The quiet work of Earth's secret soldiers had done more than punish. It had shown a better way. Cole, Vanessa, Dean, and Riley continued their mission carefully. They didn't want to break the peace. Their work had to stay quiet, like a wind that pushed gently but strongly. Cole spent his time with school leaders, helping them build new programs about fairness and kindness. He spoke simply, but his words made others listen. He taught the Dravari leaders how to guide with wisdom, not power. Vanessa helped create safe zones inside the school. Rooms where students could speak freely if they felt scared or hurt. She trained teachers and guards to notice signs of bullying and how to stop it. Dean worked with the city's younger guards. He taught them how to protect without violence. He showed them how to see more than what is in front of them. He told them that strength meant nothing without honor. Riley spent her days with students. She played games with them, helped with homework, and listened when they spoke. She saw how much they needed kindness and how fast it could change hearts. Lily watched all of this. She didn't know the whole truth about who these people were, but she felt safe when they were near. One afternoon, she sat next to Riley during a school break. "Why are you helping us?" Lily asked. Riley smiled. "Because someone once helped me, and because you matter." Lily didn't know what to say, but her heart felt warm. Still, not everyone was happy. Some Dravari, especially those in power, were angry at the changes. They believed humans were weak and didn't deserve equal treatment. In secret, they began to plan. One of them, a council elder named Harvick, believed Earth was trying to take over. He gathered others who felt the same. They formed a hidden group to find and stop the Earth agents. Harvick sent spies into the school. He ordered guards to follow Cole and the others. They began spreading lies about the advisors. Whispers returned to the school halls. A new tension rose. The Earth team knew something was happening. Vanessa noticed a strange look from a teacher she had trained. Dean saw 2 guards checking his room. Riley saw her messages to students being erased. Cole gathered the team. "They're getting ready to move against us," he said. "Then we move first," Dean replied. "No," Cole said. "Not with force. Not yet. We showed them what justice really means." The next day, they held a school-wide event. It was simple stories shared by students and teachers. Anyone could speak. Many did. They spoke of fear, of hurt, of change. Even a few Dravari students stood up and told the truth about what had happened. Then, Lily stood up. She held a small note in her hand. It was the first note she had ever received here. The one that said, "You are not alone." She read it aloud. "When I got this, I didn't know who it was from, but I knew it meant someone cared. That was all I needed. Now, I want others to feel the same. I forgive those who hurt me, but I won't forget, and I won't stop standing." Her voice shook, but she didn't sit down. She stayed standing. And slowly, the whole room clapped. Not just humans, not just teachers. Everyone died outside the school. Harvick watched from a screen. His eyes narrowed. The girl was becoming more than just a student. She was becoming a symbol. That night, Harvick made his move. He ordered the arrest of the Earth team, accusing them of illegal control and manipulation. The next morning, guards arrived at the safe house, but the team was ready. They had already sent full reports, recordings, and evidence to the Dravari leaders who supported peace. They had shared everything, including messages from students, teachers, and even parents. When the guards arrived, they were stopped at the gate. A new order had been signed. Earth's advisors were not enemies. They were now official peacekeepers. Harvick was removed from his post by his own council. His lies were shown to all Dot, and just like that, the quiet war was over. The city didn't celebrate loudly, but change was felt in every corner. Not through battle. Through truth, courage, and quiet strength. Lily sat in the schoolyard that afternoon looking at the sky. She felt the sun on her face and the peace in her heart. Far above, hidden among the stars, Earth watched with pride. The mission was not yet complete, but the hardest part was done. Lily walked to school with steady steps. The path felt different now. She wasn't afraid anymore. She had faced fear, and now she stood taller. She felt stronger, not because of power, but because of support. Inside the school, students whispered less and listened more. The old rules of silence and fear were slowly being replaced. Teachers no longer ignored problems. They noticed, they acted, and they protected. It was not perfect yet, but it was better. Cole watched from a quiet corner. He liked to observe without being seen. It helped him understand people. He saw Lily speak with a group of classmates. She even laughed. That simple sound made him smile. Vanessa was in a meeting with the school staff. She taught them how to spot early signs of bullying. She showed them how to protect students before things became serious. The teachers took notes and asked questions. This time, they truly wanted to learn. Dean had just finished a lesson with the city guards. He walked with one of them, a young Dravari named Fen. Fen had been cold at first, but over time he had changed. "I never thought humans were strong," Fen said. Dean looked at him. "Strength is not always muscle. Sometimes it's what you don't do that shows power." Fen nodded slowly. "I see that now." Riley was helping a student draw in the courtyard. The student, a small Dravari girl named Lysa, had once been one of Lily's loudest bullies. Now she sat beside Riley, quiet and thoughtful. "I didn't know she cried," Lysa whispered. "Most people cry when they're hurt," Riley said. "Even when they try to hide it." The girl looked down. "I didn't mean to be cruel. I just followed the others." "It's not too late to be better," Riley said. Every day, the team saw small changes. One by one, the school and the city were learning. But there was still danger. Whispers began again, not from the students, but from other planets. News had spread that Earth had acted. Some called it bravery. Others called it a threat. A few leaders from other alien worlds sent messages to the Dravari Council. They asked why Earth had been allowed to interfere. They warned that it could happen again. They wanted answers. The Dravari Council was split. Some were proud of the changes. Others feared Earth's growing influence. They worried about what might happen next. In secret, a new group formed. They called themselves the Balance Circle. They believed no species should act alone. They wanted to stop Earth's silent power. And they had a plan. They would send a team to inspect the Earth advisors. If they found even one mistake, they would demand their removal. If Earth refused, things could grow worse. The Earth team heard about the group. Vanessa read the reports with care. "They are not coming for peace," she said. Cole agreed. "They want to make a point. They want to show Earth can't act without permission." Dean stood by the window watching the city lights. "So what do? "We prepare," Cole said. "But we do it our way. No threats, no weapons, just truth." The inspection group arrived a few days later. They were cold and polite. They asked questions, checked records, and interviewed teachers and students. They didn't smile. They didn't trust. They spoke to Lily too. She sat straight and answered every question. "Yes, I was hurt, but I got better." "Did they train you to say that?" one inspector asked. "No," she said. "They didn't train me. They protected me." The inspectors stayed for 3 days. On the last day, they held a meeting with the Earth team. "You came here without our approval," the lead inspector said. "You acted alone." "We acted to stop harm," Cole replied. "We acted when others stayed silent." "That is not how peace is kept," the inspector said. Cole looked around the room. "Peace doesn't start with permission. It starts with protecting the weak." There was silence. The inspectors left without giving a clear answer. No punishments, but no promises either. Later that night, Lily found a new message in her locker. You faced them with courage. We are proud. She smiled. She knew it was from the Earth team. But she also knew something else. This was no longer just about her. It was about every human child on every alien world. It was about showing that kindness could stand against cruelty. The quiet mission continued, not with force, not with anger, but with steady, human will. The kind that never forgets, the kind that always stands up again, and the kind that spreads one brave step at a time. Weeks passed, and the city grew more peaceful. The school became a better place. Students from both human and Dravari families studied together, worked together, and helped each other. Lily was no longer seen as different. She was just another student, and that felt like a miracle. But the Earth team knew the mission was not finished. Cole met with the council often. He listened, shared ideas, and helped them understand why this change mattered. Some leaders had opened their minds. Others still resisted. Fear of losing control made them push back quietly, using rules and tricks to slow the progress. Vanessa noticed that reports of human children being mistreated on other planets were increasing. The news had spread, and now Earth was receiving messages from worried families. They were asking for help, for guidance, and for someone to care. "We've started something bigger than we thought," she told the team. Dean nodded. "And now everyone is watching. We can't stop here." Riley agreed. "But we can't be everywhere. We need others to stand up too." So they made a plan. They would train local people, Dravari teachers, parents, and young leaders to continue the work. Earth couldn't protect every child in every school, but it could teach others how to. Cole called it the Light Program. They held workshops in the city. They shared everything they had learned. They taught how to listen, how to act, and how to lead with care. More people came than expected. Some were curious. Others were ready to help. One of them was Lysa, the young Dravari girl who had once bullied Lily. She stood in front of a room full of students and shared her story. "I was cruel," she said, "because I didn't understand. But when someone showed me kindness, I changed. And now I want to help others change too." Lily watched from the back of the room. Her eyes were wide, and her heart felt full. She had never thought someone like Lysa would speak those words. After the talk, Lily walked up to her. "Thank you," Lily said. Lysa looked nervous. "I still feel bad." "You're trying to be better. That's what matters," Lily said. Two girls smiled at each other. Meanwhile, in other cities, Earth began sending messages. They invited alien leaders to visit the Dravari world and see the changes for themselves. Some accepted. They walked through the schools, met the students, and spoke with the teen. One visitor, a tall alien from a distant planet, watched Lily play with her classmates. He turned to Cole. "Why did you fight so hard for one girl?" he asked. "Because no one else did," Cole answered. The visitor looked away, thinking, "Maybe we need people like you where I come from." Still, not all visitors came in peace. One group tried to secretly record private talks, hoping to find reasons to discredit Earth's efforts. But Vanessa discovered the devices and stopped them without anger. "We don't need to hide," she said. "Everything we do is open. Let others see the truth." Dean continued to help train local guards. He taught them to speak gently, act fairly, and protect with pride. Some guards didn't want to listen, but others followed his lead, and soon the city had a new kind of peacekeeper, one who walked among the people instead of above them. One day, Riley gathered a group of students to paint a mural on the school wall. It showed humans and Dravari holding hands with stars above them. Lily helped draw the final part of small Earth in the center. When it was done, students and teachers gathered to see it. There was no speech, no music, just quiet smiles and a feeling of hope. Then, something unexpected happened. A message came from the Earth government. They were sending a new team to replace Cole, Vanessa, Dean, and Riley. Their work was being moved to a larger scale. A new department was being built to handle human rights across the galaxy. It means they believe in us, Riley said. They believe this mission matters. Lily felt sad when she heard the team would leave soon, but she also felt proud. She had seen what they had done, and she had become part of it. The day before the team left, Lily gave each of them a small gift, just drawings, simple and full of color. She had drawn each one with care. Cole looked at his picture and smiled. "You have a strong heart," he said. Vanessa gave her a small book. "Keep writing. Your words matter." Dean gave her a salute. "You stood taller than most soldiers I know." Riley hugged her. "You reminded me why we do this." That night, Lily stood outside and looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, others needed help. But here in this place, peace had grown. She knew it started with one small voice, one act of kindness, and the promise that someone would always care. The team would leave soon, but their light would stay. The sun rose quietly over the Dravari city. It was the team's last day on the planet. Cole stood outside, watching the orange sky. The air was still, but he felt something moving. Not one, something deeper. A sense of change. Inside the school, Lily walked through the halls. Her steps were calm. Her eyes were clear. She passed students who now smiled at her, teachers who greeted her kindly. She had become a symbol, though she never asked to be one. She entered her classroom and saw a surprise. Her desk was covered in drawings, notes, and small gifts. Messages from classmates filled with simple words. "Thank you. You're brave. You helped me." Lily touched each one carefully. She smiled, then sat down. She didn't need to say anything. The room was already full of quiet love. In the city center, a small ceremony was held. Nothing grand. No loud music or shining lights. Just a few chairs, some local leaders, and a group of students. Relmer, the city's top council leader, stood and gave a short speech. Change comes slow. Sometimes it comes through pain. But when it comes, we must choose to accept it. These humans came not to conquer, but to care. And for that, we thank them. Cole nodded politely. He didn't want praise. He only wanted to know the mission was truly over. One by one, the team was called forward. They received simple gifts, handmade tokens of peace. A carved stone, a painted cloth, a small plant. Riley held the plant in her hands. "It's a new tree," a young Dravari girl explained. "It grows strong roots, like the ones you helped us plant here." Vanessa placed her gift in her bag with care. Dean gave a quiet smile and tapped his fingers over his heart. After the ceremony, the team walked through the school one last time. They said goodbye to the teachers, guards, and students they had come to know. It was not easy, but it felt right. Lily waited near the school gates. She had something in her hand, a small card. She handed it to Cole. "It's from me," she said, "but also from everyone." He opened it. The words were simple. "You came when no one else did. You stayed when it was hard. We will not forget." Cole didn't speak, but his eyes softened. "Will you ever come back?" Lily asked. "Maybe," he said. "But I think you won't need us next time." Lily looked at her classmates in the distance. Maybe you're right. The team boarded their ship that evening. As they rose into the sky, the city became smaller below them. But their mark would not fade. From space, Earth sent out a new message. A message to all human colonies and friendly alien worlds. Earth stands for peace, but it does not turn away from pain. We will listen. We will act. Not with war, but with wisdom. In time, other planets followed the example. Small groups were formed to protect the young and the weak. New schools opened that welcomed all. Change moved slowly, but it moved. Lily kept going. She studied harder, spoke louder, and stood taller. Years later, she joined Earth's peace program. She remembered every moment, the pain, the change, and the team who stood by her. She became a leader, not because she wanted power, but because she knew how it felt to be powerless. And in every new mission, she carried that memory like a shield. Riley often said, "One voice can start something. One act of kindness can carry across stars." Lily believed that now, and so did many others. On Earth, Cole, Vanessa, Dean, and Riley continued their work in new places. But they always remembered the little girl who stood up, the school that changed, and the city that learned to care. Their mission had started with pain, but it ended in hope. And somewhere, on a quiet world under a rising sun, that hope continued to grow, because once Earth had sent its secret soldiers, and the stars remembered.